Hello. I'm back after a long hiatus. Some people were actually wondering when I was going to make another YouTube video. I sort of made my first debut video, which did pretty decent. It was the first review on YouTube of the Gerber Fastball. And it got about 1,000 views, which is nothing on YouTube, but being my first video, I was quite happy with it. And I got some positive feedback. A little bit of negative, but it was constructive. It wasn't like someone was just being an asshole to me. So I really appreciate that. You know, the dude spoke respectfully, and I really appreciate that because I took that criticism and am making it a driving force to better the quality of my videos. So having taken a break and sort of have learned how to do this, I'm doing another knife review. And again, it is something that I don't really know anybody has done a review of yet, because I want to be the first in my power-hungry search for relevance. As I said last time, it's a never-ending search. It's kind of a problem. But in my knife collecting experience, I started out with like cheap M-Techs and so on with these modern knives, and then I slowly worked my way up. I got Kershaws and CRKTs and SOGs. And then I worked my way up into like Spydercos. I got a Mannix 2, an S110V, Benchmades, and then these higher end Gerbers, like their autos are really nice. And, you know, they're all modern knives. Now, some of these companies do make traditional knives, like Boker. They have traditional knives, and then they have like modern tactical knives or whatever. But in sort of my evolution of someone who's been in the knife community for a little bit, I've sort of caught the bug for traditional knives and am working in the same way I did with modern knives. I start out with simple budget options to see if I want to get into traditional knives, and then I work my way up into higher end knives like Great Eastern Cutlery or a really nice case knife or something like that. But anyway, this isn't what we're going to be talking about today. This is a Buck 371 Stockman and Burnt Bone. You can get it at Walmart right now, but also at Walmart you can get this guy. Now, I don't know of anybody else who's reviewed this on YouTube yet. Maybe they have. All I know is, let me even that up for you guys. Well, that's not particularly any better, but whatever. Walmart has this brand called Ozark Trail. They make like cool tents and of decent quality, and I think probably their best quality stuff for the money is their thermoses and their tumblers that are really close to Yeti quality for a fraction of the cost. But they also make knives. Now, being that I have had a couple, it really feels like it's from the factory where Camillus knives are made, like the new Chinese-made Camilluses. They're not the same USA-made Camilluses. Like, the quality and whatever seems to be pretty similar. Not only that, but the new wave of Ozark Trail knives is featured on Camillus's YouTube channel. So, that gives me a really good suspicion that Camillus is manufacturing these for Ozark Trail and for Walmart. But they finally came out with a traditional knife. And I wanted to see if it was any good for $5. They aren't $3.87 anymore. They are $5 now, which, I mean, I can understand. The knives that they're coming out with are a little better quality than the ones they started out with a couple years ago when they started doing these knives. And I actually was wondering a couple days before I went to Walmart to buy one of the, or to look around for one of these, if they made a traditional style knife. And they have, with this guy. This is the Stag Finish, so it's just a plastic handle that's looks like Stag. Two-bladed traditional knife, and I gotta say, guys, I'm really impressed with it. I do have a case knife or two laying around, and so I mean, I know it does not compare to that quality. There are certain tolerances that you expect in a knife of that price that you should not expect in a knife of this price. Because again, this is a $5 knife, but for $5 you're getting something that's pretty decent. Sorry, there's something moving around over there. I'm in the middle of my backyard, which is in the middle of the woods, so I'm sort of exposed right now. This might be a Blair Witch situation if I'm not careful. But yeah, 2-bladed traditional knife. And I gotta say, this was $20, this buck Stockman, with tax, and this is about a little over $5. This has a better back spring. It has polished spacer, or polished back spring as well, whereas this is just sort of a satin finish. The blades on my buck Stockman came with a little bit of play, which I hammered out. You just take a mallet and sort of, you know, slowly hammer them together, but still, like that out of the box. And then the edge quality of these guys is not very good. It's not very even, as you can see. It's not what I would expect in a $20 knife in general, so I didn't really complain about it much. This, however, for $5, has a beautiful edge on it. It's got a bit of a recurve going on, but you can see it's pretty even on the sharpening. Much better than on that buck. Really nice even tip on that guy. And both of these blades came razor sharp. Here, I'll shave a little bit off my arm for you to prove the point. I mean, look at that. That was like 2 passes on my arm. That's how sharp these things are. And now I have a bald spot in my arm, and I'm looking even weirder than I already do. But yeah, you got a nice classy looking clip point blade with a almost mirror polish finish. You can sort of see reflections of things if you hold it right, but it's not like a case knife mirror polish finish, but pretty close. The back spring on this thing is much stronger than on the buck, and there is no side-to-side play. And this isn't dissing on the buck. I like this knife. It's just, you know, and then look at this. You know, they're both slip joints and unlocking, so it should be fine in most places. I don't know if there's a place over here that, over in the UK or whatever, that sells something similar to this. But yeah, razor sharp, full flat grind, on what I would assume to be some cheap 3CR similar steel. Stainless steel bolsters is what it looks like. And this sort of Delrin style stag finish handle with some nice multicoloring going on there. I chose the one with the best fit. There were some with really bad fit and finishes, like really bad gaps and stuff, but I mean, I'm not going to expect anything amazing for $5. But this one actually came out pretty good. You can see right there. Still got some gaps that on a case knife would be unacceptable, but with this, you know, it's whatever. But there's the pen blade. It's got a nice little half drop point, half Warncliffe style going on. Again, razor sharp. And no side-to-side play with this either. And the back spring is also very strong. The insides are a little rough on the finishing. They didn't really do any sort of finishing on the insides. Whereas with this buck, at least they sort of attempted to do that. You can see that right there. They sort of attempted. But yeah. And I mean, for $5... it's not going to be a beauty pageant winner. It's not going to be something that is probably going to stick around for more than a year at Walmart. But I'm definitely going to pick up a couple more of these because for $5, it's a great beginner's, in my opinion, a beginner traditional knife. For those like myself getting into traditional knives. I want to sort of test the waters with designs and different patterns to see which one I like before I spend a lot of money on a Great Eastern cutlery or whatever. And I really like this one. It's really, really nice. It's not like a high quality blade or anything, but it is really good for the price, and it absolutely works. You know, I'm very impressed with what Ozark Trail is doing at the price points that they are getting on these things. So yeah, that's my quick review of the Camillus, or not Camillus, well, I guess you could say that. But it's my quick review of this Ozark Trail traditional folding stag handled knife. I hope you all enjoyed this video, and definitely pick one or more of these up. This would be a great holiday gift item for families. The holidays are coming up soon. And they are cheap, and or, you know, just get one for yourself because they are really cool. But anyway, guys, thank you all for tuning in again and suffering through my voice and stupidity, and I'll see you all next time.